Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Frank and this is the 2024 Chevy Trax 1RS. Let's go ahead and let's get into a review on this budget-friendly SUV. And just before that Frank takes over this video for the review, I just want to give you guys all a huge shout out because I'm almost at 1,500 subscribers. I can't fathom the amount of growth that I've had over the last few months, and I thank each and every one of you guys out there for helping me build this channel. It is just a hobby for now, and right now I'm having a blast doing it, and as long as you guys are enjoying what I'm putting out there, I'll keep on doing it. So let's go ahead and let's give this back to the other Frank, and let's get into this review. All right guys, so I first want to start off this video by thanking Millennium Chevy for lending me the Chevy Trax. If you want to see this one or other ones like it, feel free to check out the description below and click the link to go to their website and see what other cars they kind of have for sale. Now, let's get ahead and get started in this review underneath the hood of the 2024 Chevy Trax 1RS. So, underneath the hood of the 1RS is going to be a 1.2 liter turbo 3-cylinder. It's going to have 137 horsepower with 162 pound-feet of torque, and that's made it to a 6-speed automatic transmission. This one is front-wheel drive, and the gas mileage is going to be 30 miles per gallon combined, 28 on the city and 32 on the highway. So now starting off this review on the exterior of the 2024 Chevy Trax, let's go ahead and start on the exterior color of this one, which happens to be fountain blue. This is a $400 option and one of the only options that's actually added on to this 1RS package. So everything you're seeing in front of you is going to be standard with the 1RS package, and we'll get into that in just a little bit. But I really do like the exterior color of here. I like the fountain blue look. I've seen a couple of them on the road now, and I personally think that it matches the Trax look a little bit. It may be a little bright for some people, but I personally like it. Now, going down to the front of the Chevy Trax, you can see we have that black Chevy bow tie in there, this piano black finish grille, the RS badge right there, and running day LED lights up there and up there where your turn signals are in, and just below that are actually where your headlights are going to be, just in this area right here. And those headlights are going to be put right into this little grille design on here, which is not functional. Just keep note of that. Now, just below that on the lower portion, we do have more piano black finish right here, and then a flat black lower lip area there too. This is all going to be the RS packaging in effect right here, a little more sportier look. That's all comes with the 1RS package, and with a base price of $22,100, and again, this one being about $23,840 after taxes, fees, the paint on here, and one other option that's on the inside. It's a pretty good value, I think, for what you're getting with this car. Let's go ahead now and let's move to the side of the car. So now coming down to the side of the Trax, we have this black wheel arch or liner design right here. This is flat black, matches the front grille area, and that design follows suit with the rest of the car. Now, moving on to the wheels, these are standard again with the 1RS package. These are the 18-inch alloy wheels. They have this silver and piano black finish in the center with the black Chevy bow tie center right in there. And all four wheels are going to be the same exact size. Those are going to be 225s by 55s, and again with these 18-inch wheels. I like the look of them. I think that they match this car pretty well. And as you move up with the different trim packages, you have options of getting different looking wheels, but I think that these match this car pretty well. And moving our way back towards the rear of the Trax, the door handles, to note, are the same color. They're color matching, they're fountain blue, and these doors are not keyless entry. The only way to unlock and lock the doors is with a key. So with the 1RS package, you do get a standard key like the old Trax, which has a little flip up right here. Some people are going to love it, some people are going to hate it. It does have remote start, but again, this is also just with this package. So with the upgraded or the 2RS and the active packages, you will have a push button start and keyless entry on here, but on this one and below, it is only going to be the key enter right here and no keyless entry. Now moving our way to the rear of the Trax, you can see the brand new rear end design. I want to note that that's the major thing obviously with the Trax, is it's a full redesign interior and out from the outgoing Chevy Trax. So the older one looks like a dumpling, as many people will say. This one actually has a lot of design styles and elements to it that make it look really sporty, and I think they did a really good job, especially again with the price of this car. It's something that looks sporty, it seems fun, and it's not going to break the bank at the end of the day. So going on to the rear, you can see we have a brand new taillight design on here. We have the reverse lights right in the center, the red going all around with more of that piano black, gloss black accents right here. It's like a little grille design, again, non-functional. Going on to the back, we do have a black Chevy bow tie on here. We have your RS badge on the rear right, the same exact taillight right there. You have a center wiper blade on here. It's not up there like other cars may have. You have your antenna up there, and you do have this kind of little spoiler design, giving it a little bit more of a sportier look. And again, this is matching in the fountain blue right here with a little bit more black accents right on here. Now, moving to the lower portion of the rear bumper, we have more plastic trim right here with 2 reflected lights down there, and then we do have a piano or gloss black finish trim right there. As you can see or notice, you can't really see an exhaust from here, and that's because it is tucked all the way up there, as you can see. So we're gonna go ahead though, of course, and get an exhaust clip of the 1RS and see what this 1.3 liter sounds like. All right, and there you guys have it. That's the exhaust clip out of the Chevy Trax 1RS. It actually sounds pretty good, and I'm sorry for any background noise that's kind of coming up. There's a loud truck to the right of me, and I can't do anything about that. You can actually hear a little bit of the turbo spools out of there too, which is pretty cool. So let's go ahead though, and let's move into the trunk space since it's right here, and then let's jump onto the interior of the Trax. So when coming into the trunk of the Trax, you're gonna give it a little press down here. There's a little button, and it is manual to lift it up. It's not an auto lift on the rear. And you can see you can open up like that, and here is your rear trunk space. It's actually pretty spacious for the size of this car. I think that they did a really good job. It's a little bit better than the other one because it's a little wider than the outgoing Trax. So I think they did a pretty good job on that. As you can see, there's a good amount of room back here. You have some storage down here, including a tow hook, which is down there for you to use. And under here is going to be your spare tire. And that's really it. That's all you're gonna have back here. You do have a tie down port right here, and 1 clip right here if you do want to put a net across here, which is an extra option that you can throw in for the Chevy Trax. All right, guys, we are now inside of the new Chevy Trax. Let's go ahead and let's get right into the interior. The overall is, I like it. I like the way that it looks, and they did a full overhaul in the interior, and I feel like they made it feel a lot better than what the actual price is. So they made it feel a lot more expensive, I think, than what the base MSRP is of this 1RS. I think they did a really good job with that. So starting off on the driver's side of the door, we do have your door unlock, which is chrome. You do have your lock and unlock button right there. All pretty standard stuff. Your window controls and mirror controls are all on the driver's side right here. You do have this design right underneath in this silver metallic kind of trim, which is like little triangles, so it makes it look a little bit sportier than what it is. I like the way that it looks. It's very subtle. It's not like in your face and obnoxious. Now, moving on to the steering wheel. One thing to note that this one does have is it does have heated steering and heated seats. So the steering wheel is leather. It's really nice. It has little perforations on here. The top part is also leather with red accent stitching running throughout it. And then you do have a gloss black lower portion of the steering wheel right here. You do have a black Chevy bow tie in the center. It's very nice. I like the way that it looks. I like the shape of it, and I like the way that it feels. I think that it feels a lot better, again, than what the price of the Trax really is. Now moving on to the gauge cluster, it is a mixture of digital and analog. This one is not the full digital dash like you're going to get with some of the higher trim models, but I'm fine with that. So on this one, you do have, it's really nice. You have red accents running throughout it. You do have an RS badge on the left side in there where your RPMs are, and you do have on the right side is going to be your speedometer. So I like how that is a mixture of analog and the digital screen right in here. Moving on and turning the Trax on with the little key right here, you can see this is all pretty standard to the previous generation Trax, including the screen in the center. It's pretty much the same as the outgoing Trax, so they didn't really change too much on there. It will tell you some basic functionality like your trips, your speed, what doors are open, and everything like that, but don't expect anything crazy or fancy from it. Now, moving on to the center screen on here, this is an 8-inch display. It is very responsive. It has Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and everything like that that you may need. There's a couple of basic functions that you can control in here for your vehicle, like rear seat reminder, a couple of other things like lighting and power door locks and stuff like that. Nothing too crazy that you're going to be able to access in here. But again, it's still nice nonetheless, and I think it's better than the outgoing Trax. So just below that, we do have your air conditioning vents, and on my side and the passenger side, you have these large circle ones that kind of reminisce of the Camaro. They are finished in red accents around there, giving it a more sportier look, and you do have this red bar that kind of runs through the whole center of the dashboard too. Just below that is going to be your very basic yet very functional air controls. So we have your temperature in the middle with your AC button, you have your speed that you want the fans to be blowing out your air, and where you want your air to go. Between that are your driver's side heated seats and your passenger side heated seats with 3 different levels on them. Pretty standard stuff. And below that is a very large storage compartment area with 2 chargers for 2 different styles of phones, and your 9-volt right next to that. Coming back a little bit more, this one does actually have auto start and stop along with lane keep assist. So that one is on right now. And in order to put the auto start and stop on and off, it's just a simple click of a button right here. You can turn it on and off as you please. We do have the gear selector here, which is finished in a leather material on the top, again with the red RS badge in the middle, and then more red stitching down the center. I think it looks really good, and I think it's very sleek and elegant. Again, for a car that costs $23,000. Switching gears is pretty simple on here, and then you do have your emergency brake right back here. Now moving on just past that, we do have 2 cup holders in the center, pretty basic, and then another storage area just behind that, but you can store a couple of more things. And you do have an armrest on here. Opening it up, it is just a giant hole to nothing. It is very big. But there's nothing in here. There's no charging ports, there's no area to store anything else in, or no level so you can put anything on the top area and then have stuff stored underneath. It's just empty and there's nothing in there. It's got a lot of space for you to put a bunch of stuff inside, but that's really it. Now, moving on to the seats. The seats, like I said, are heated, and they are a pretty interesting design. They're cloth, but they have a bunch of different designs on here. So they have white stitching running throughout here. We have this dark gray in the center. We have black on the sides, and we have this white, gray, and silver design running through the back portion of the seat right here with your standard headrests on here. These are also manual seats, forward, back, any which way you want to do it. These are fully manual seats for both the driver and the passenger. Not the driver has electronic and the passenger is manual. Both across the board are going to be manual, but again, not the end of the world for a car that costs this much. This one is pretty much has no added extra options except for the exterior paint and the blind spot monitoring. That's going to be it. Otherwise, you're going to be looking at a little bit more of a price tag. You start to tack on more options. Now, that's really it for the interior up here. Let's go ahead and let's jump into the rear seats and see how much legroom there is back there. And let's go ahead and wrap up this video. We're not going to be spending too much time back here because, well, there really isn't too much to go over back here. The seats back here are the same exact as the front seats. It's all cloth. There's not going to be any heated rear seats or any controls in here or cup holders for the rear passengers. The center area right here does not fold down like another car would right here and have like a little area to maybe put cup holders in. You do have a little storage area right here. There are no charging ports back here, but overall the headroom is very good. The legroom is really good, especially for what the car looks like from the outside. I was not expecting it to be this comfy in here. Overall, very plain and very boring. There's not really too much to go over back here, but again, for an SUV that has a price tag of about $23,000, you're going to get a lot for what it is. Definitely plenty that I think, and that's really it. So let's go ahead now and let's wrap up this video by jumping back outside the Trax. And that's it. All right, guys, and that's going to wrap up the video on the 2024 Chevy Trax 1RS. If you like videos like this and want to see my other ones, make sure to subscribe, hit the thumbs up button because it helps me out, and make sure to comment below if you think that this is an SUV that you would buy for yourself or if you'll pass on it. Without further ado, I'm going to wrap this video, guys. Take care, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next one. Bye.